my knuckles there.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Conversations with Good Brothers talk show. My name is Sean, my name is Sean Francis Coleman, and this is.
And I'm Darnell Ramsey. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, yes, we're excited to be back for another week, another talk show. I'm very excited about the conversation tonight, but first wanted to do like we do and just check in with my good brother. Man, how you been?
I thought we was gonna do. I'm maintaining, man. I'm maintaining. Just been thinking a lot about some of the stuff that was been going on in the news, of course, with the somebody popping a bullet behind us. But I was just thinking about the last 2 weekends where you had some brothers lose their lives. Well, I guess one is in North Carolina. I'm sorry, was that North Carolina? No, it was North Carolina.
I think it was. I think it was North Carolina.
South Carolina, and then Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
But just to add a different spill on it, I know we're a little bit out of topic, but that's been very heavy on my mind. I know we've been getting a lot of media coverage on it over the tube, and everybody's all in outrage. But again, I think over the last year and a half, or the last year since Trayvon Martin, it's been about 8 killings.
Right. More than that.
Yeah, more than that. And the most remarkable thing is that because everybody talking about it, just add my little spill to it. But one of the things that I was talking about to a brother yesterday is how many times this had happened before the camera phone.
Exactly.
You understand? So we all in outrage. Again, it'll die down. Trayvon Martin, something happened, it'll die down. But one of the things that I wanted to move forward with, and something that we talk about all the time in our discussion, is why do these brothers run? You understand? So we always talk about accountability and responsibility. So I was talking to this young brother yesterday that we got to start thinking critically and start using some common sense. Like when you're in a position where sometimes when you run nobody, the one guy in South Carolina, he had a busted tail light, even though he had some child support issues.
Right.
But he got pulled over from a busted tail light, and he died. He ultimately, no matter how it went down, he died over a busted tail light.
Right.
You understand? So we got to teach our young men, or just young brothers, period, that for one, be legitimate when you out there.
Right.
You understand? We could blame the cop, but again, I've been on this earth 40 plus years, and I've been pulled over. You know what I mean? Quite a few times. As a black man, that's going to happen. But I always had insurance, I always had a registration, and I always had a driver's license. And one thing I never did, get out of the car and run. You understand? So for my public service announcement, that we got to start talking about teaching young brothers how to, or these are two older men, when you have an encounter with the police, sometimes that's a losing battle.
Right.
But we got to take accountability of whether we, what's that shot, the rapper Shalimar, whatever his name is, about riding dirty. You know what I mean? If you're legitimate, when you got your ducks in order, you shouldn't have to make such a haste decision or a haste choice in that sudden moment. So that's one of the things that we won't get into later on in one of our conversations that we're gonna talk about. That we always talk about accountability and responsibility, but that's been on my mind because a lot of times we get all up in arms about these police officers killing brothers, man. But that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
That ain't just started the last year and a half.
Right.
We just been privileged to see it through the video camera.
Or burden.
Or burden. Right. So ain't nothing changed. So again, I'm like, wow, man, since Trayvon Martin, we got all up in arms, man. It's still happening almost on a weekly basis. Not even on a monthly, just Trayvon Martin started, actually brought it to light. But it's been going on for years. And imagine, if this guy shot this guy, that easily, there was a camera there. So, there are hundreds of guys out here being, criminal things done to them from the police officer aspect. There is no camera.
Right.
But we got to start asking ourselves, stop putting yourself in that position, man.
That accountability piece.
That accountability piece, like, rest in peace, man. It's fine. That's an unfortunate thing. But, because the tail light is out or because you were child support, what's the most you gonna do? A day in jail?
Yeah.
And then he would have never thought he would get shot in the back. But this is, it's an all-out war on black males or African American males.
I think with that, just to add my own 2 cents in there, man. I think that I'm always big on the accountability piece, and I'm not ever going to step back from that. But this, somebody gets shot in the back of the head, man. Like in the back of the head, like we really like if there wasn't another case, we really got to take a look at you shot somebody in the back, man, in the back of the head. And again, we know that that's been happening in the past, but just like we're living in a response to slavery at times, I think white people is too. Because you still see us as animals, so you think that that's okay. You know what I mean? You still like just like we maybe quote unquote are still living in that response to slavery. I think that there's a lot of other cultures still living in response too. Because there's no way that you would have done that. Well, I believe there's no way that you would have done that if it was somebody of that opposite same nationality.
But to my point, Joe, brother Sean, like this is going on, so it's happening. Trayvon Martin, like we said, had brought this burden or brought it to light, however we want to spin it, but it's happening.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So we can see, and a lot of us, that's where we're at. We're stuck on is it's happening. The bottom line, it is happening.
Right.
So now we got to combat that.
Right.
That's the art of war. Once somebody show you your hand,
Right.
you got to make the necessary adjustments to it, or do we stay stuck on saying,
Great
why is this happening? It is happening, man. Let's get past that.
We live in a world where that happens.
Where it's happening, and unfortunately, we ain't seeing 80% of it because it's not on camera.
Right.
So do we keep getting stuck on why is it happening versus let's do something about it and say, young brother, young sister, or whoever you are, when a police officer is pulling you over, listen, make better choices for another day. You know what I mean? So you can live to do another day. But that's just my public servant announcement for this morning or for this evening. But I don't want to get that was just real heavy on my mind. But I'm excited about
Glad you brought that up.
the conversation. We'll definitely talk about it at another point. That was just on my mind. Thank you for asking what's on my mind.
Yeah.
On my mind. But moving to the conversation today, and the subject matter today is it possible for people to stay friends after the romantic relationship has ended? Yeah. And that's again, thanks for the our followers. That was one of the questions or one of the topics that was emailed to me at to our email address. I want to thank you for that because this is something that me and Sean talk about a lot. Not directly, but we talk about some of the things as far as relationships between men and women, and this is a very interesting subject to me.
Yeah, man. I think it's I know that there's some places that you want to start. My first response to that, 'cause I don't believe that there's any answers to that. I don't like giving people answers, but I like giving people responses, and then you come up with your own answer. But it's situation specific because on one accord you got to look and see are there kids involved? You know what I'm saying? Are there kids involved? Because on one accord you might have to interact. You see what I'm saying?
You're always doing this, man. You know what I mean? You'll give me a cheat sheet. Once you slap me a cheat sheet before you get started, man, but you're right. Just to start off,
Right.
You're absolutely right. There are kids involved.
Right.
Yes. That's a good point. I'm sorry, bro.
No. I mean, I think just on a mundane level, whether it be a marriage or whether it be, just a relationship, you may not have too much of a choice in that. So your response may be, maybe we can't be friends, but we still got to be cool. We still got to be adults, But then another point is, I think that we can kind of mix these in. Is that what's the feelings? There's a difference between love and being in love. So maybe if I'm in love with you, it might be hard to be friends. Or if I just got love for you,
Good point.
Yeah, I'm saying because we all been in situations where we have love for that woman, or in a woman's perspective, that man, or however your sexual preference is, and we still mess around afterwards. But is it healthy?
So that's it. Is it healthy?
Is it healthy?
If not, is it possible? Is it healthy?
Is it healthy?
Yeah, that's a good perspective. And that's so true because if you do have, you've been married for some years, or if you do have kids together, then you should be friends because your kids is paying attention, and you should, you can show your kids after, because sometimes things fall apart.
Right.
But if there are kids in that particular situation, I think you need to be friends, or at least to your point, cordial. Right. Because sometimes cordial goes out the daggone window. Right. Feelings and feelings are offended or hurt.
Yes.
You understand? So,
yes.
one of the things that that bothers me, man, is when you see people who've been married for years, and then they go through a divorce or whatever, man, and they're not cordial to one another.
Right.
You know, you hear some of these divorce proceedings, man, and you know, people at one another's neck.
Right.
You understand? Like, you know, whether it's money or whatever, you know, you have a guy who wife build him up to build his business up to this to where he is, and she got to fight him in court to give her some money.
Yeah, that's terrible.
You know what I mean? I have a lot of respect. I mean, I lose a lot of respect for men who do that. Like, you know, this woman made you who you are, bro. And then sometimes things fall apart. You know, we hope that divorce doesn't happen, but you know, according to statistics, that's very likely nowadays. But bro, this lady made you, man. She did all those intangible things that doesn't show up. But how she got to beg and fight you for some money, man. And then on the flip side, you have a woman.
Good. I'm glad you want to talk about this too. I mean, this ain't my situation. I'm like, dude, you better hit the other side, bro.
That's it. I see the dogs from Florida. I got no sugar. They're like, okay, let me say something on the other side. Okay. I'm like, damn, John, I'm sorry. Let me get to it. But on serious, on the flip side, yeah, then you have the woman who's trying to take this dude down.
Right.
Like you ain't sling that nan hammer.
Right.
You understand? You only been with this guy for 2 weeks.
Right.
And you want 50% of his money.
Right.
But again, I like that word you use, man. Like, when you say I do, when you say I do, to me, no matter where the relationship goes, unless there's some abuse or some abuse and some other things that may happen, why can't we be cordial when things fall apart? Yeah, I like that word. We ain't got to be friends. But if I went and showed the world that I married you, you mean to tell me now that it's over, I'm gonna treat you like that? You just showed the world that, because you put on this grandiose performance. That's what during the wedding, that under God, under oath, and say, God, I'm gonna love this man to death, do his part. But now he or she, you want to see this person's life in shambles.
Right.
That rubs me the wrong way when I see things like that, man.
You know, I was a little bit intimidated by this topic whenever you had brought it to my attention, because on one accord, and I say this humbly, I think I'm a wise 29 years old, but on another accord, I can't speak on experiences that I haven't had yet. And so what I mean by that, and not to be long-winded, but we get in relationships sometimes based off the wrong reasons. So there's a difference between loving somebody and being in love with that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have loved women before my wife, but I've never been in love with a woman the way I am with my wife. And I was listening to Deborah Cox and RL song on the way up here, We Can't Be Friends. Okay. We Can't Be Friends. And the whole crux of it was like we can't be friends because I'm still in love with you. We can't be friends because I'm still, and the whole song, you see the video and he's going crazy, like, I'm still in love with this woman. And I think too, to maybe give some insight, is that sometimes when you break up with somebody that you're in love with and you've been with them for several years, it makes it difficult because you cool with their family. You cool with their family. So now we gotta remain something, because I'm still cool with your mom still love me. Right. I'm cool with your brother, your uncles. It's like, we're supposed to cut all of that off. Because my mom and dad are separated, but my dad and my mom's brother, they still cool.
Good point. Great point. But is there, to that point, is there a time when you take a break away because the emotions are still strong? Because sometimes, you stay friends with benefits.
Exactly.
After the relationship has ended. So did you ever get a time to go through that pain? Because sometimes, we as men, we'll stay sexual till eternity. If you cool with it, I'm cool with it. Because sometimes we're not as emotionally attached as our females. So are we friends? We friends because there's some benefits to us.
Right.
You understand? But as our female counterparts, that might be their way of pretending to be friends, but they don't really detach themselves away from us. So that contributes to maybe their pain lingers. But for we as men, sometimes that's where we are so different, because women don't understand that perspective of us, that we can have sex with you, but we might not even have the same feelings, but they are different. They're different beings, so they still, and that's unfair to them.
Right. Right.
So
right.
we friends.
Right.
We friends, then there shouldn't be no physicality.
Wow.
No, there shouldn't be no nothing physical going on. Why, if we are in this friend stage, we as men, we take advantage of that.
Well,
I'm sounding like Sean. I'm sorry, we switched seats over here. Like, I had to catch myself. Did I just say that?
That's why I'm going like, you saying something. You saying something.
We gonna be chilling.
But you really are saying something, because I think you're saying the same thing, is that, like you said, we can have sex with a woman and have no feelings for it, like, but when you in love, and I don't universalize my experience, but when you in love, like, I don't believe in cheating. I will talk to anybody about that all day. I don't think that
You do?
Yeah, man, like, there's no space for cheating whenever you in love. But you bring up an excellent point, because I think that it might be difficult to be friends after the relationship ends, because we never were friends. We started, you know what I'm saying? We live in a day where.
Are you starting something, Sean?
I'm trying to
Are you
start
saying you about to, goddamn? We about to extend our commercial break. Goddamn.
Right. But we never were friends, man. Like, I think prior to the baby boomers, you have a different culture, a different mindset.
Okay.
Now, when the baby boomers came, they brought a whole new way of living, a whole new perspective. And you fast forward to today, friends, like, shoot, like, I'm smashing you the first 30 minutes I meet you. And I'm not talking me personally, but that's the mindset. Like, so we never had a chance to be friends.
God dang. That's powerful. Because we talking about chivalry.
Right.
You understand? Back in the day where you met the parents.
Right.
In some African cultures, you had to meet the parent. You gotta present your resume to them. And how many of us are doing that?
Exactly.
I don't
Speak on that.
even know. My mind is racing because you made this incredible point. Like, Houdini said, how many of us are, friends? How many of us really are friends?
Right.
You understand? And that's what sustains the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, and to me, when you love somebody as a friend, you ain't trying to bury them when it falls apart.
Exactly.
You understand? Until you just drop like, oh, were y'all really even friends?
Right.
And and nowadays we live in such a sexual times.
There it is.
How many of us are getting to know this? And to all the lady listeners out there, we men are lying to you all when we say we don't understand that you're emotional.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But on the flip side, we men, we can't stop. We got to stop making these excuses saying that I didn't know. Yeah, you know. Like, you at a certain age, women are emotional. So
right.
once the penetrations happen,
right.
The friendship almost takes a back door.
Exactly.
Takes a
Exactly.
back seat to
Exactly.
to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sustains and that's what maintains the relationship is a friendship. But you were just talking about how many of us are friends with that?
How many?
Like, what's my favorite color? You know what I mean? I know you like this black lingerie. You know what I mean? So I think it's black, but you don't even know who. You know what I mean?
Right.
You did no research on this person.
Right.
You don't know their family background.
Right.
I mean, and that's crazy to think of. You probably not even met this person's parents, and y'all in the bed on a regular. You haven't even met the parents. Haven't even met the children.
And is that healthy? And is that? But see, so we have questions within the question. These are
no, it's not healthy.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And then, but here now, going off topic, staying on topic. But now we start making decisions that ultimately are detrimental for future generations, because now we've had a baby out of this. Not only do I know you, not only do I not know you or anything about you, but we have a child now. Wow. So I'm having a baby by somebody that I don't know nothing about. How do I explain this to myself? Which it is explainable, but the information that you explain it with is not information that you're comfortable with.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, take that situation. You know what I mean? If I go out to the club, meet a shorty, go home and we have intercourse, I have no idea who she is, and we have a baby. If I explain it to myself, I really gotta be real with myself. Like, I did that. But how many people really gonna say this? I did this. I'm not gonna own up to that. I mean, I would, but this is why you have people who are running from relationships and children.
And just being real, put my 2 cents or put my life out there. A lot of times we in denial of those situations. You know what I mean? When you, like you said, you have babies out of these types of situations, you angry.
Right.
You understand?
Exactly. We told you 10 years ago.
You mad, but you trying responsible for that scenario when you try to project that anger on somebody else when you put yourself in that position.
Exactly.
But it's coming back to God made it that way. We're not even supposed to be indulging in these things until we know from we at least have some type of relationship with you. Hopefully a friendship with you. But to your point, if you meet somebody out in the club, what is that really? That's not even a friendship, let alone a relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when we talking about kids, because that's your main point was that a lot of times these relationships when they terminate, there's kids involved.
Yeah.
You understand? And now you see your kids. As a kid, you watch your parents go at it, clash.
Yeah.
How that's you had mentioned how healthy is that?
How healthy is that? How healthy is that? I think too. What you just made me think of. I'm not saying. I know I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm not saying that you can't be intimate with a woman before y'all get married. I'm not saying that. Now, that's what we're taught, but as I wrote in my book, that wasn't my case. I was intimate with my wife before I met her. You know what I mean? And I'm not mad about that decision that I made. Now, what I would have liked to maybe happen was, to uphold our character. I think it will be healthy. I think it will be healthy for people to have a relationship first. Maybe a friendship, as y'all develop a relationship and y'all both decide, maybe we need to take this thing forward a little more, and then you become intimate. And now you can start to, really delve into more of the relationship.
Before, because you just touch on something that I'm gonna jump into a little bit heavy, but I know we're supposed to be going to break. We're about to go to break, and we're going to come back and jump into that, establishing a friendship. And I got some science I want to add to that subject.
Good.
Because I just something that I just don't want to cover because we don't talk about that as much.
Okay.
As we as men mature, and all the men on the line, I want to talk to you about something in all seriousness, and I hope that you listeners can comment on some of the things that I'm about to say. I would love to hear your perspective.
Yes, we'd love to hear it.
But we'll be back after our commercial with more conversation with good brothers. Friends will always say anything to you, anything you want to a friend. But when it's penetration, now it gets emotional. Now you don't. Should I say this? But if you ain't hitting it, I don't care what I say to you because we're developing this friendship. So you want to get those tough conversations out the way during the earlier stages of the friendship. We don't become friends, man. We just jump right in bed. When you jump in bed, you don't have these conversations. You don't have uncomfortable conversations.
I want to bring that up because I have a response for that.
Okay, I have a response for that.
And also, I'm gonna ask you something. I want to maybe ask you some questions to read because you got some great stuff here.
Okay.
That you may have forgot about it. So I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay.
This is the rest of the show right here.
What is it?
I kind of want it to be fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, I think this is the last one.
Please bring us in.
Welcome back to the Conversations with Good Brothers. I'm Darnell Ramsey.
And I am Sean Francis Coleman.
Before we went on commercial, Sean had brought up a good comment that I want to touch upon about the importance of friendship. And one of the things that I always talk about is how a lot of times that we don't truly get an opportunity to develop that friendship because sex got involved. So before I get into that, I want to acknowledge our caller. We got a caller with the last four, 2276. I'm going to give you a couple seconds, caller. But I want to get into this topic, get back to this topic, but I want to hear your feedback. Caller, can you let us know who you are and where you're calling from? Caller, last four, 2276.
Colin, you there?
Oh, I guess I scared them off. If you
Call us back.
yeah, call us back. Call it 2276. One of the things that 'cause, you had mentioned that when we start to get physical, when sex get involved, we don't never. It's my belief that sometimes we don't truly get develop that long lasting friendship because things get a little bit emotional, and then we as men we don't have those uncomfortable conversations, or as a female we don't have these uncomfortable conversations. But I'm a male, so I can speak from a male's perspective. There's some things that we should have said before the sex got involved. Now you don't want to hurt her feelings, so you hold back from this uncomfortable conversation. So you never, I don't believe that you necessarily develop an authentic relationship or friendship.
Right.
You understand? Because you're so busy about, you're so worried about hurting this person's feelings that you might not tell them something after you all started having sexual relations. Now, I know I'm just a big fan that those initial stages, man, before the sex is involved, because sometimes you can walk away from these relationships when the sex is not involved. You out. If you don't have sex with a young lady, she can't badmouth you, because a lot of times I heard this woman scarred because you had sex with her, didn't go anywhere.
Right.
But if you refrain from having sex, you understand, you can bounce, or you can terminate that whatever it is. I don't call it a relationship because it wasn't long, but you can terminate your encounter.
Right.
But when sex get involved, for one, as a man, it feels good to us.
Right.
And the female, now she just opened herself up emotions. So both sides are cheating each other, because now you've really cheated that encounter out of what it can possibly blossom to be, because there was no friendship.
Well, let me speak on that. This is actually being spawned out of the moment. That's why I love doing these shows with you, man, because a lot of the things that I know I say come from the moment, and I think that there's a difference between a friendship and a relationship.
Well, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think but I think the power and the foundation comes in the relationship. So on one accord, I just can't see myself being in a relationship and not being able to speak my piece. You know what I mean? Because as I always say, I got from Dr. Jackson Katz, defensiveness blocks critical discussion. We gotta have critical discussion by any means necessary. You know what I mean? Because that's what's gonna take the relationship to the next level.
Uncomfortable conversations.
Uncomfortable conversations, but
necessary.
The power of developing a relationship at the beginning is that or a friendship or a relationship, I should say, is that you get a chance to work, to feel one another out. You know what I mean? Do the little mental warfare, see how people respond to certain situations. Does she badmouth people? Do you badmouth people? Whenever you get comfortable, now you start to know somebody's character. If you're dealing with two adults, and that goes, like you talk about how people badmouth people, you can kind of have an idea that, this person's some of your character. I don't think they would do this necessarily afterwards. But on another accord, that even if y'all try to develop a friendship, and there's not necessarily a relationship, and y'all have sex, you can still develop a relationship along the way. I would always fall back on a relationship, so I can't see, and I want to empathize with it, but I just can't see how you have a relationship with somebody who you can't communicate with. You should always be able to fall back on a relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know my character, you know what I'm about, I know what you about. So no matter if sex happened or not, I should be able to fall back on a relationship. But now we see what happens is we got dual roles. We was friends, now we have a sex. Kind of like we friends, but you're also my boss.
Right.
But I should still be able to communicate to you because of our relationship.
But we coming back to, I know that, or you use that word relationship and friendship interchangeably, because you fall back, to me, back in the day, man, when you're friends, man, y'all fight. You understand? You went at it. That friendship, man. I don't like using that word too loosely. That friendship, man. It was to develop that, because that's what sustained you. You understand? I know sometimes when me and Sean's on the air, you hear about our chemistry, but we battle. You understand? But that friendship allows us to battle, allows us to disagree. But unfortunately, when there are sexual, I'm just saying, when there are sexual encounters taking place, I think the friendship get watered down, man, because now you're worried about offending or hurting this person's feelings. You understand? You don't truly, and I'm just speaking from experience and all the backdoor conversations I had with a lot of men. there is so much that we telling our friends about that we should be telling our spouse, our
Right.
girlfriend about.
Right.
But it's so emotional that we hold this stuff in, and that's really damaging to both, because this person really don't know how you feel, and you balling up this feeling that's killing you inside, and you never get a chance to convey that message, to convey what you feel to your so-called partner. And you walking around with turmoil. You understand? Like, how does that benefit? But with friends, you understand that friends, it's okay to disagree. And one of the things that we were talking, one of my favorite lines is, you don't really know somebody until you disagree with them.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Once you disagree with somebody, then you really know where they stand.
Exactly.
So in a relationship, you talking about spending some years with somebody, you're not going to have disagreements. There's 365 days in a year. You're not going to have quite a few disagreements. And the beautiful thing is being able, like, well, man, you disagree. That's something beautiful when you work through a disagreement.
Right.
But I know you had always that comment you were saying, defense breeds.
Defensiveness blocks critical discussion.
Yeah. So when you trying to speak to your partner and they get defensive, now during a critical discussion, there's an uncomfortable discussion, and we all grow through uncomfortable discussions.
I agree with you, but I think when you asked me if I was using those words interchangeably, I don't believe I was. I think that you don't call somebody a friend until you develop a relationship, unless you're a fool. Okay. Unless you're a fool, you know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of foolish relationships.
There's a lot, yeah. A lot of us, we get that term and we get these titles too damn quick. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't develop the relationship. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look back at like hip hop in the 90s, they said a lot of New York rappers would not get on the same track until they would go out, have a drink, fill one another out, develop a relationship, and then you get on the track. But if you put that in what we're talking about, there's no relationship. And then bringing it to communication, my man. One of the things that I just don't see how we get to the point where we're having sex and we're years into the relationship, and you're still frustrated by the communication issues on some course. Because I remember, and again, I'm not universalizing my experience, but one of the things that my wife said whenever we first started talking was, I like you because you tell the truth. You tell the truth. When I ask you questions, you don't lie. When she said, when I first met her, do you talk to other girls? And I said, yes, I do. You know what I mean? But through us developing the relationship, we were able to get some things together at the forefront. So now we both got accountability. Do I want to deal with this person? Do I not want to deal with this person? She said, okay, well, Sean, look, here's my expectations. That's one of the first chapters in my book, The Power of Your Expectations. So we worked out that stuff way up front. You see what I'm saying?
I wasn't even on had this. This wasn't even on our notes.
Yeah, man.
Understand? Yeah, but man. Now, to everybody who knows Darnell Ramsey out there, I'm going to say this. When you said that, now your relationship from the door had a solid foundation. What percentage of relationships are out? I'm gonna tell you the lines. We're gonna role play. Now, you see an attractive brother and an attractive sister out there. So the sister goes to the brother and says, are you talking to anybody? And that brother looks her in her eyes and say, nah, it's all about you, baby.
Right.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
On the flip side, the sister says, are you talking to somebody? And that brother said, yeah, I talked to about two or three people. That sister automatically get offensive. And why you talking about, why you want my number then? So what do the brother do 9 times out of 10? Well, I'm sorry, 7 times out of 10, he lies. So now your relationship, your friendship is built on lies. You have laid the foundation to lies.
Right.
But to the wife's point, that's realness, man. Yeah. So and unfortunately, I tell a lot of sisters and brothers that we start out by lying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the beautiful thing about being in your 40s. Like, now, what I got to lose right now?
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, but we should be doing this at 16 years old.
Exactly.
It's all about gaming, and sometimes we want to be gaming. I'm not the ugliest brother. I think that I'm fair looking, but do you think that somebody, you talk to somebody decent, they ain't talking to nobody? You believe that I'm looking like Ukla Lamak, like nobody? I ain't got no chance to meet nobody in my life. Bro. So you ask him about talking to somebody. I mean, that's just a given. But are you offended if I say, yeah, I do date people? Right. But it's amazing how people they don't want to hear the truth.
They don't want to
understand. So now the foundation of your relationship.
Right.
I'm sorry, the building block, ain't the foundation, but that initial block,
Yeah.
on contact
Yeah.
is a lie.
Mm.
Now, where does the relationship go from there?
Because so I'm gonna cut you off.
No, please add on.
But it's not about where does the relationship go and build. Sometimes how soon do we end this relationship? Because in that situation, my wife said, okay, well, there's some things that we could work on. Because she wanted to be with me, but she wasn't willing to put up with the stuff that I was doing. What she could have did was, and I would have blamed her. She could have said, all right, you know what, not this time. You know, I'm not doing this.
Why?
Why what?
Why was she? She could have been why?
Why would she leave?
No, yeah, that situation right there.
I mean, if she didn't want to put up with I'm 23 years old. You know, I'm a bachelor. I'm out to go on what bachelors do. I'm disrespecting myself, let alone other people.
Absolutely. If you're dating, why are you disrespect? Now, here's what I was a cheap question. Now, why can't we exchange numbers? Well, who said we got to be physical?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But to the point that some sisters, if you sitting out here saying I'm dating somebody, they ought to make it physical. Like, oh, why he talking to me?
Right.
But if I'm talking to you, why can't we go play some pool and get to know each other?
Right.
Why can't we know? Because really, this is what we should be doing over the next few months.
Exactly.
So, sisters, we are very sexual.
Yeah.
You understand? Just we might be, some majority of us don't hold out like women do.
Right.
You understand? But why can't I develop a friendship with you if I choose? But give me your expectations.
Develop a relationship with you.
Right, and develop a relationship. But why we develop a relationship? Give me your expectations too.
Exactly.
But now, because you're dating other people, I don't want nothing to do with you. Like, oh, sure, who said we gotta be physical?
Right.
Is there anything wrong with us having an occasional conversation and going on a date?
Right.
Or going to play some pool, throwing some darts while we get to know each other?
Right.
But as soon as we exchange numbers, I'm supposed to throw everything away for you. You could be a nut, but this is real talk. You know what I mean? But because you give me your number, that means that everybody I talked to before I met you at 12:01,
right.
I'm supposed to get rid of it.
Right. And y'all might become great friends. Y'all might become great. It
Right.
might not. If you leave the sex out of it,
Yes.
y'all might be.
Yes.
And really, that might be what both of y'all need.
Yes.
That might be what both of y'all need. I remember watching. The first or second Hidden Colors, and I forgot the woman's name. Actually, I think she came to Pittsburgh recently, and she said the problem with something. We're not just talking about black couples, but right now I am. She said the problem with some black couples is that we only get along whenever we laying down, and as soon as we stand up, that's when all the problems start. I'm like, wow.
I don't know, but okay, I don't know what I'm thinking about. Give her.
The only time that a black man and a black woman is getting along is when we having sex. It's whenever we laying down. But as soon as we get up and just gotta watch TV, I don't watch that. Like, dang. But the only time we really get along is whenever we having sex.
Lord Jamal, grandmother said, Lord Jamal, love me or leave me alone. That was one of his verses. The only time it's right is when I'm laying the pipe.
Right.
You understand? So
Right.
that's the same thing, right? But when we stand, and that again, how did you get in that position, though, bro? Is that a friend? No. Like, how's that? How do we get into? How do we men find ourselves in those positions where we can't even converse that immaturity? Why, as a sister, why you want to be with somebody where you can't even converse? And there's a lot of that going on nowadays. And then sometimes, unfortunately, there's some marriages, or like that. So, were you friends? Were you friends? You know what I mean? Or did you even spend a significant amount of time developing or working on the friendship? But to your point, I've had the pleasure of, have so many great female friends, man. You understand? There might have been some initial attraction at the beginning, but to your point, because we got to know each other, you're like, you know what? Yeah, this ain't going on. It ain't, all this was supposed to be is for us to be friends. But sometimes we don't even explore that because we're so busy trying to get into one another's pants.
But that's the answer to your question. Because when you said how do we get here, really, because like in business, or like you said in business, we think with our eyes. And when you've been a man, like we're not being cocky, but when you've been a man, you know what I'm saying, and you that dude, some women want to be with that guy, and they want to put their stamp on you. Well, I at least got experience, and then for women, whenever she's that chick that everybody wants, guys are like, well, I'll do anything to get with her. So we'll sacrifice our friendship and all this just to be able, and then that's where all the problems start. So to answer your question more directly, I think that you just answered it. We sacrifice and we think with our eyes, and we just put more emphasis on the sexual stuff. and we miss some great friendships. I still got great friendships with even some of the women that I have been intimate with in the past.
Right.
So sometimes you can be friends.
Yes, you can. I mean, and that's saying it's fine, but I'm also thinking that sometimes there's a grace period where it's best for y'all to break apart.
Right.
We talking about as soon as it has ended.
Right.
Is it best for y'all because there's some hurt. You know what I mean? And
right.
To your point, once the hurt is gone, they can say, you know what, that brother has always been honest.
Right. Exactly.
That sister has always been honest.
Right.
So I know I'm hurt right now, but this is the type of person I'm going to continue staying in contact with because they never misled me. You understand?
Right.
And after all the pain is gone, that's when you want that. You have the best. You have that person's best interest at heart because that person was a true friend and that was a person of character who really treated you like that. So you want, to your point, you want to stay friends with that person. But there is a grace period.
Yes.
For the feelings to subside and so you can move on. We're gonna go to another commercial break. This conversation is good, if I may say so. But we will be back with conversations with good brothers. Please, the caller, if you have a question or comment, feel free to push #1. Let us know that you have a question, or you can type your question into our engineer, and he will let us know that you have a comment or question. But we'll be right back with conversations with good brothers.
Call us up. You gotta at least deal with some of them. You feeling?
I'm tired.
You got a little smile though. First smile of the night. That means something.
Yeah, it means I'm ready to get to bed.
Yeah. Or you feeling a little bit better. So or you feeling a little bit better. Yeah. You like to be defiant. You like to be defiant sometimes. Welcome back. I am Sean Francis Coleman.
I'm Darnell Ramsey. Welcome back to this great conversation I think we're having. But before we jump back into the last 15, 20 minutes of the call or the conversation, we have a caller with the last 41449, caller 1449. Name and where you calling from.
Brenda, Sister Brenda. Hey, incredible.
Well, how you doing, Brenda?
Good conversation. It's real. A lot of women and men, they say to the social setting, have a future, transitioning a lot of sex, unite in a sexual way. And one thing about that is, like you said, when a man enters into, when he makes a deposit,
Wow.
an emotional attached to that, and you guys are going to walk away because we can't deposit.
Right? Right?
Real talk.
To get to know one another. I always tell everybody, well, what's his mother's name? Did you know his mother?
Wow. That's embarrassing.
They're like, oh, Chris, put too much into it. Well, this is life. So you have a baby that is carrying, you don't know if there's mental illness, you don't know.
Wow.
Ooh. She spit
Hey,
that.
bro, we taking some notes here, bro. We taking notes, bro. You dropping some science. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We
Like I said, we get common.
I'm sitting here writing, taking some mental notes. Cause I want to address that, Brent. I want to address that. We have a call. We have another call, and I'm gonna come back to that, Brent. All right. Thank you for calling in. There's a couple points. I was trying to take some mental notes while you was talking. You hit us with like 3 or 4 notes.
5 notes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna come back. We're gonna address that. That's one of the notes we want to come back to. We're gonna thank you for calling.
Thank you so
Brent.
much,
Thank you so very much. Thank you for support. We're gonna go to another caller. Caller with the last 4081. 4081. State your name and where you calling from. Hey, how you doing, brother Sadiq?
So, Brother Sadiq. Thank you so much. So true.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Right. Right. Hey, thank you,
Thank
brother
you, brother
Sadiq.
Sadiq, man. Thank you. Y'all just gave us like 10 minutes.
I know.
We sit here taking some notes, man. So we're gonna touch it. We can go back to brother Brenda's is saying
Sister Brenda.
I'm sorry. Please call. That's my great sister Brenda. I went to school with her. Great person. I'm sorry, Sister Brenda. Congratulations too, because she's ordained, so she doing everything.
Congrats.
Yeah, Brenda. Much respect for that sister. But she talked about alcohol. Sometimes we up in situations, we meet people at the club, alcohol get involved.
Great point.
We go back, you're having sex with somebody, and then she was real. Brenda has always kept it real about. Then you see this person out, and you mad at him.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But you gave of yourself. Both of y'all gave of yourself. But what did you expect gonna happen?
Right.
If he hit you off the first night out, that might be his MO.
Right.
Until she said, you don't even know this brother's name, and he's penetrating you.
Right.
Now you deposit. That's powerful.
That was powerful.
Deposit. We took a note, Brent, on that. Deposit into it.
Yeah.
Brother Sadiq talked about it as well. But I see now, like you got something that you running across your brain.
No, I mean, I think that you hit it, on the head. I think that her point about get mad when they, and angry after you see that. It goes to us being too frisky. I think that we've been talking about that. We just the baby boomer. I'm not blaming everything on the baby boomer generation, but that sexual aspect of human nature is just vicious, man. I was listening to an audiobook 2 days ago, and it said one of the ways that you could tell that an empire's fall is coming is because the sexual desire starts to increase. And I mean, we have just a strong sexual desire.
That's the Bible, man.
That's
you know what I mean? He talks about that in the Bible, bro.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, Sodom and Gomorrah was like
Right.
lustful, and just being real. Like, I always tell people I had a conversation with one of my good friends that as a man, just being honest, I had lustful desires.
Yeah.
And very lustful. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And as brother Sadiq said, we're risky.
Right.
That lust causes us to produce risk.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But we don't want to deal with the consequences that come with that risk.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I got slapped with those child support orders, brother, you want to complain, but those are those risky behaviors, so we don't know how to control our lust.
Right.
You understand? And nobody talks about that.
But see, here's the thing. It goes back to love versus being in love. Like I wasn't not looking for love when I met my wife, but sometimes it will find you. You know what I mean?
All the time.
All the time. You know what I mean? But we're in love. There's a difference between love versus in love, man. And like I've just at 23 years old, man, like that was the beginning of a new life for me because I started to challenge. Like I was ready to be a player until I was well into my 50s. Like I love it. It's fun to have sex with different women, but it's phenomenal whenever you have sex with the woman that you're in love with, man. Like the same way that a young man will look at a shorty at the club and be excited to take her home. I've been looking at my wife like that every day I still go home like, man, like I lust her, like I'm into her in every type of way. And I think that's where, most people have not, a lot of people have not experienced, but that's when it be. She's taught me how to control my tool. She's taught me how to control that. Like there's nothing that a woman, even though I still get lustful, if a woman comes into my space and she's attractive and I think that she's beautiful, I still have thoughts. I still think like, dang, it's X, Y, and Z. But I respect my relationship and my wife. There's no way that I'm gonna risk what I have with my wife, man. Like it's just a different. It's different. So everything that we're talking about people not doing, if you start to invest in, if you are having that in love experience, if you think that there's a chance that you might be in love, invest in that because that life is so powerful. I've had both the bachelor life and being in love, and I'm gonna tell you from my experience, that there's being in love trumps I don't care if she's the most beautiful woman in the world. When you in love, man, it's a whole different experience, it's a whole new world, like I like to say.
And it's crazy. I was telling you about the brother. I told you I was up 3 o'clock in the morning reading a post from the brother from the karate brother from
I think he was the Spawn dude, right?
Yeah, the Spawn dude. Yeah. But I forgot his name. Got like 3 names, but the brother played in Why Did I Get Married? The one with the crazy, the loud crazy shorty. Forgot his name, but anyway, he wrote this post on Facebook. Man, it was powerful, and he was talking about how this woman taught him how to be loved. It was called Apology. Michael John White. Thanks. But he wrote a post how the woman he taught him how to be in love, and he didn't know what love was. And he was saying that once the women has the ability to teach us, and I guess the post was called Apology to My Exes. But he was saying a lot of us men are so busy trying to be the man instead of allowing a woman to make us a man.
Right.
You understand? I'm the man,
Right.
but are you a man?
Are you a man?
So then I get a shot. I even posted on it and I felt like a lame. But he did it. You know what I mean? Because I never post on people's stuff where I reply
He was
to
one
that.
of the ones, I agree, dude.
I agree, dude, yeah. You rock, yeah, I didn't tell him to call in this conversation because we was going to have this conversation. But the last thing on a serious note that a couple weeks ago I was in a barbershop and again next week the Good Brothers Conversation will be out in the community, hosting our first show out in the community. Looking forward to that in that barbershop in East Liberty. But one of the conversations was talking about our chakra, how a lot of times when you having these relations as a man, when you having relationships with all these women, you understand that we're not able to even give ourselves to this one woman because we're so connected to all these other women.
Right.
So you have to sever your chakra.
Right.
You understand? A lot of times we have to spend some time, and that's the reason why you need to refrain for some things.
Right.
So you can, in order for God to bless you with that woman or that man of your dreams, you got to cut your chakra from having these long-lasting physical relationships.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
There's a difference between friendships and physical relations because sometimes we intertwine the two. Nah, if that all that person is, I don't care if you see him, you speak, but somehow they have a sexual connection.
Yeah.
You are really connected to that person, as Brenda's saying, because I'm still depositing
Right.
into one another.
Right.
You understand? So you're not able really to break free of that and give yourself a true opportunity to be in love, like you're saying, because we're spread ourselves too thin.
Too thin,
So a lot of us ain't even giving ourselves the opportunity, as you say, that to give that one person
Yeah.
this love. Because I'm pretty sure if you are, you'll become lustful for that one person. But a lot of men, as we mature, you happen to mature a little bit earlier than the average man, the majority of us. But we need to get to that point
Yeah.
to where we can be friends. We should develop a friendship with our mate, but also discern the difference between is this a possible mate or strictly a friend.
Exactly.
And we need to work on that game as well.
Exactly.
Because everybody who comes in your path don't necessarily mean that you got to be in your path. Because females are the most loyalest people there are. You know what I mean? A guy backstab you quicker than a female. So I always tell people we need more friends than we need lovers. And sometimes, there are some females who want to really see us succeed, but too many of us are childish and immature, where we're trying to get in their pants first, instead of really developing a potential relationship or friendship with this young lady. So, we have some maturing, many of us have a lot of maturing.
I know we got 5 minutes left, man, but I think it's been a great discussion, man. I think it's been a phenomenal discussion. I think that there's so much more that we haven't said that can be said. We'll probably have to, touch on this again.
Yeah.
I think, just closing off, man. One of the ideas that I have, as far as why are some of us at the point where I know me as a coach, as a life coach, as a professional counselor, I work with a lot of people who are asking themselves, why am I not at the point? Like, when I see this person, I see that person. Don't compare yourself to other people. Les Brown's daughter, Ona Brown, said so accurately one time. She said, I don't care who it is, no matter how great it looks, there's problems in the relationship somewhere. So don't,
Hey, how you gonna leave with that?
You know what I mean? Okay, I don't care if it's Barack. I look at me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? And people will ask me like, well, and say something about my relationship. I'm like, hold up, whoa. You think there's some Facebook pictures and some inspirational posts that we don't ever be like, nah, I'm sick of this. I'm done. I'm out of here. Pack my bags. Like, now we don't go that far, but we argue. We argue. We have healthy. It's an argument, and we have them, more often sometimes than I would like. But that woman I call my wife, man, she's worth it, man. She's worth it. And this is like me. You was talking about beforehand. I used to be a bachelor, man, as probably a lot of the men on the phone, and probably a lot of the women on the phone. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to invest in that life for my whole life, but having experienced what I've experienced and being in love, man, it's a lifestyle worth investing in, and everybody is deserving of that.
And Michael John White, he talks about one of the things he talks in his post that we gotta allow ourselves that opportunity to invest in that, man. Because sometimes, again, I'm talking about our chakra. We're so connected with so many other people that we never given this woman in front of us an opportunity, a true opportunity for that. Again, I think we have 1 minute left. Another great, incredible conversation. To Brenda, Sister Brenda, thank you so very much. Brother Sadiq, thank you so very much for your input. To all y'all on the line, thank you so very much for your support. Please, I think me and Sean had a new way of reaching out to you, posting some things on Facebook, some quick announcements. We want to continue doing that. We want to send you all to our Facebook page. Continue to give us, to our email, send us some possible topics that you want to talk about. And we got a lot of great things planned for the conversations with good brothers show moving forward.
And thank you all for buying my book. I appreciate everybody. I want to put a plug there. Our relationship guide is available for $24.99 at my website, perspectve.com. So you can continue to expose yourself to some of the behaviors of a healthy relationship and love.
Again, thank you for everything. Again, look out for our posts on our webpage, on our Facebook. Like our Facebook. We got a lot more in store for you. And like I said, next week we'll be posting at our Bass Barbershop for our first conversation out in the community. But it's going to be an incredible show, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Love y'all.
Expand your perspective.
Give thanks.
Peace.